Everyday boldness. Everyday brains. Everyday beauty. Your Everyday Woman Show. Here to entertain and inform. She's Meek Brown.
Thank you for joining us again on the Meek Brown Show, the show that entertains as well as informs. We have some great guests on our show today. We have K. Allen Campbell. We have LaPel Mitchell. His name is Kareem Mitchell. And we also have Maurice Walker. Guys who are performing greatly in our community, from fashion to education to mentoring to helping out with your kids. We hope you enjoyed this segment, and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Today in the studio we have special guests Kareem Mitchell and K. Allen Campbell. These young men are entrepreneurs as well as they work for others also. How are you guys today?
Doing wonderful and yourself?
Great.
You guys look very nice.
Thank you.
You followed directions very well.
Well, we knew we had to represent the best.
Okay, I'll take that. Tell me what you do, Kareem.
I work for an insurance company as a manager in the claims department. That's my primary role.
And what else do you do besides that?
So for the past 2 years, I've been making lapel pins and bracelets.
Okay, and can everybody see he has on one today, which is very nice.
Thank you.
And what do you do?
I am a professional event planner. I'm an events coordinator at Brooklyn Baptist Church, and I'm owner and CEO of Simply Special Wedding Services.
Okay, and I see that you have a lapel on as well.
I do.
But I understand, Kareem, you did not design that one.
Not that one.
No. So now, how long have you been wearing lapels?
Probably past couple of years.
Really, you know, a lot of guys don't even know about the lapels and enhancements of those. How long you been wearing them?
For about 2 years now.
Really? So what made you get into designing them?
Well, it's a fun story. I was looking on television, I saw more guys starting to wear them with their suits. So I wanted to go purchase one. So I went to the store to purchase one, and it was a ridiculous amount of money.
Okay.
So I looked at the quality of it, and I just said, you know what, this is something that I can make. And from that point forward, I've been making them and selling them.
And you've been pretty successful.
It's been pretty good.
So I understand you have a fashion show coming up that you are a part of as well. Tell the audience about that.
The Meek Brown Fashion Show.
Say that again?
The Meek Brown Fashion Show, that's what I call it.
Okay, and what will you be doing for the Meek?
I will be modeling in the Meek Brown Fashion
And
Show.
you'll be designing?
Also designing the lapel pins for the crew.
Did everyone hear that? I think they did.
They did.
Sure you did.
Yes, they did, Kay. Kay, you will be a part of the Meek Brown Show as well. What will you be doing?
Whatever Meek Brown asks me to do.
Okay, these guys are really
That's a great answer. That's a great. We can't say no to Meek Brown. No, but seriously, I will be assisting with logistics and working directly with the male models at the show. Just making sure models, working with them with some etiquette tips and that
Absolutely,
sort of thing.
and I appreciate that. Now, the both of you are entrepreneurs. Do you think that as men, there's an image you have to portray for working with someone and working for yourself? How important is that, especially to our young men?
So for me, I am my brand. So
Right.
for me, I look professional all the time. The importance of that is you want to portray what you want to sell, for me. And I try to get on his level.
He's pretty high.
So I'm trying to get the Mr. K. Allen Campbell level. So like I said, I am my brand. I'm my walking advertisement. So I feel that I feel comfortable in what I'm wearing, and I like to feel this way and to look this way. So it's important.
You have daughters but no sons.
No sons. Don't remind me.
Oh, now wait a minute. Ho. Watch yourself.
I love my daughters. I really
Okay,
do.
just watch yourself. Okay. Now let's move on. But no, seriously, you are presenting yourself to your daughter in a way that she should expect when a man come and approach her. Sure. I'm not saying they have to be in a suit, but she's going to watch the image of what you show her, and in turn, that's what she should expect. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, the bar is high.
The bar is very high, and it should be. And I think if the bar was high among other women, or if they had that opportunity, because some don't have that opportunity at home, but even if they don't, they have other men like yourself who's doing so many great things in the community that they can follow.
Correct.
Okay, you definitely do great things for young men and women in our community. Do you find that they follow some of the things that you do, your teaching, your style, your grace? I'm pretty sure, even from what I've seen, they do, especially our kids at Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think for the most part, and kids will be kids. We are looking at a new generation. But let me take upon a personal privilege to say with this young man here, he is the epitome of today's male fashion. I love what he's doing, and I just recently met him and want to have an opportunity to work more with him and getting his brand out and getting his items out. But in today's society, it's a changing society, and I think we have to project ourselves and present ourselves in a positive light, not only to young persons, but to other striving entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
In terms that just be consistent, and I talk about etiquette, even with business etiquette, even with fashion etiquette, it's just good manners and common sense.
That's right.
You know, you can put those two things together always, and then I think you'll be a success. And if you do that in a way that people can respect, then we will get the respect from the young people, I think.
That's true. And the young men who are out there who are, and when I say lost, meaning they have no, quote unquote home training, or they just don't have someone there to fill the void, whether it be a mentor, a father figure, they're missing that. So those who are missing that, how can we get them to follow our lead, or how can we get out more in the community to grab them and bring them in and show them another way? How do you think it's best that we can do that?
I think we have to involve them directly. And one good example is a couple of weeks ago, the Men of Brooklyn Baptist sponsored a men's clothing closet for the homeless down at the Salvation Army. And we actually had some young men volunteering with us, and we gave out free clothing. We had set up like some men's boutique, and the men could come in and shop with dignity. We gave them shopping bags, and we measured them when they didn't know what their suit sizes were. And I think the young men
so awesome.
saw us working, putting our deeds to work. So we have to sometime involve them on the level that they too can feel a part of that.
Right.
So hopefully they were able to take away something from that experience.
I bet they did. That was very good. Very good. So you both have on nice suits today. Ladies, you know they look nice. When you're shopping, now we're talking about image, what are you looking for? Are you looking for material? Do you get your suits custom made? What are you looking for? Some guys don't even know that you can get suits custom made. There's so much into fashion that a lot of people just don't know. And these suits look like you guys got them custom made. So tell me a little bit about when you go shopping, what do you look for?
So me personally, I look for things that look good on me, that I think will look good on me, whether it's the type of material. It depends on the season.
Okay.
So I don't want anything real thick in the summertime.
Right.
I just want something nice and light, that I can flow with. But I'll get my suits from off a rack. I'll be honest with you, and I'll take them to my tailor, and they will cut them custom fit just for me. And I won't tell anybody anything. I let them believe what they want to believe.
It's how you make it work.
Yeah, that's it. And then you throw in some accessories with it, and you just look
You're good to go.
Yeah.
And for yourself, Kay, do you have a special brand that you always shop for, or special stores?
I tend to try to stop shop in the non-traditional stores.
Okay.
So I'm not off the right person as much, I guess, as Kareem. So I do have a couple designers that I favor. But I really like comfort. I want to be comfortable in whatever I'm wearing, whether it's a suit, whether it's a jogging suit, whatever it is. And it has to be catered to your own personal style. So I think you can tell when someone is wearing something something and they feel out of sorts.
Right.
So you want to make sure that whatever you choose or whatever route you do, it's something personal for you. And I agree with Kareem. Here, probably in the last couple of years, the accessories for men are really making a difference. I went on a conference for my fraternity about 2 weeks ago, and we had to wear a suit every day. So just to pack 6 or 7 suits every day. I said, no, you pack 3 suits and you take 6 different shirts and 7 different ties, and then you do different accessories, and you can take the same suit and dress it up, and someone will think that you have on a different outfit.
That's true.
I think we're thinking more like you are.
I was going to say, I'm learning that because before, I'm like, no, it has to be a whole outfit every day. But then I'm thinking, okay, I'm broke. That is kind of costly. So then now I try to do so many pants, but then I can take different shirts and wear with a pair of pants. You would not know that those were the same pants. Or I can add a little jacket to the pants, and then you're kind of like, that's a whole different outfit. I know what I've done, but you don't know. Right, so I'm learning this thing now.
Perfected it. You
Right, absolutely. Because back in the day, I would wear something when I was really broke, kind of tuck the tag, like on Girls Trip the movie, and then, kind of try to take it back. But no, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. But no, I'm so happy to have you guys on the show. Now, if someone wanted to get in touch with you and learn about, the designs of your lapel, and of course they would like to purchase them from you, how can they get in touch with you? Give them your information, phone number, email address.
So you guys can reach me at Lapel Mitchell on Facebook or Lapel Mitchell on Instagram. You can call me at 347-422-3133.
Okay, and Mr. K?
You can reach me also on Facebook at K. Allen Campbell, Instagram IceCold1906, and my phone number is 803-917-0105.
What was the song?
Now, was that necessary?
Ice Cold Brother.
That was my Instagram.
You wanted them to know you're out?
No, that was Kappa.
Everybody knows Alpha. No, I'm kidding. But I wanted to ask also, now, you guys have only known each other for such a short time, but just so you'll know how you've really gotten K. Allen Campbell attention, when he and I talked, he said, I needed to reach out to you. Okay. So when someone does that and makes those, type of recommendations, I mean, you're doing something pretty good. You're doing something that's favorable. So our young men in the community, they need to know gentlemen like you guys. They need to know if, they can't go to anybody else. We have the type of gentleman in our community that can direct them in a way that's positive. And we know we need a lot of that going on right now. I mean, I thought, wearing the baggy pants, I really thought that was going to be just a short time fad. But it's been how many years? Almost 20 years? Oh,
too long.
Yeah. That's a bit much. But, everybody has their style, and we're not here to critique or judge, but I just know when you see a gentleman, we can really educate and execute the type of fashion we would like for our young men to pursue, if you feel me on that. So I'm just floored. You guys did really good, better than I really thought you would. But
He has the blueprint. I follow it. That's how it works.
Okay, I'm just kidding.
I know
you said whatever for Meek Brown, right?
That's right. Whatever.
Okay. You guys do not want to miss the upcoming fashion show because both of these guys are in it. That's in such a big way. Their fashion, their style, their grace. But again, we have to support our businesses. So please get in touch with them. Whatever they can do for you, we will highly appreciate it. And thank you again for watching this segment of The Meek Brown Show. Thank you again for joining us on the second segment of The Meek Brown Show. We have special guest Maurice Walker to discuss with you something that's a little bit more serious regarding special ed kids and special ed teachers and different things that go along in our community dealing with kids. Maurice, how are you today?
I'm great. And you?
And I'm sure a lot of people in our community know who you are because of your morning live stream videos that you do.
Right.
And I do know that it helps a lot of people on the different topics that you do come up with.
Right.
What made you start doing those?
Actually, I was going through some things in my life, and God laid it in my heart to stop worrying about what I was going through and started pouring into other people. And that was a way of actually doing that through videos. And I started out doing, before the lives came out, just a regular video, then uploading. So whenever the live video, one of my coaches said, you need to try doing the live video. And it's going on almost 2 years now that I've been doing those videos every Monday through Friday. Yeah.
And I've actually watched some of them, which are very inspiring.
Thank you.
To those, and you never know who you are reaching out to.
Right.
Now, you are a special ed teacher?
Yes, I taught special education for 16 years, 14 years. In the past 2 years, I've been a special ed assistant in the special education room. And the reason being, at some point in time, I ended up on 16 different medicines.
16?
Different medicines.
Okay.
And my doctor told me it was from stress related to the job. And my thing was, with me as a teacher, I try to reach every one of our kids. And at some point, I've had students that have gone to prison.
Okay.
At one particular time.
And are we referring to like those you taught in high school? Or?
High school kids.
Okay.
Not necessarily I taught, but every one of them I've talked to as far as changing their ways, things that they were doing, looking at life in a different light, trying to look at things differently in order to make a change in their lives. And I had a veteran teacher to tell me, well, Coach, you can't save all of them. And I asked, I said, well, how do you pick and choose who you're going to save? And I couldn't separate that. I couldn't separate, well, I'll try to save this kid and not with this one. And there were some cases where I went back one more time to try to save a kid, and it worked. And there were other cases where I kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, and nothing happened. The kid, some of them ended up in prison. I have a couple of kids that have been killed. And so it just took a toll on me physically. And with my doctor's advice, I actually got out of the teaching role, but still involved with the special education as an assistant in the special education room.
Okay, and I know after we talked, I did a little research, and sometimes special ed kids who are in special ed classes, they don't really need to be there. And I say that because there's only a small difference in them being there because of maybe they need attention or they're not getting parental attention from home, and they become a little disruptive because they're trying to get that attention. Do you agree with that, or is there any correlation with that?
From my experience, my teaching experience, yes, I do agree. There are many that shouldn't be. Had things been different while they were growing up, meaning when you it seems as though parents want to be friends with their kids and not being the parents. And through my experience, what I've learned, sort of like what you just said, kids want structure. They want somebody to tell them what way to go, and they look forward to that. Of course, kids are going to be kids. If I was telling someone, I can't remember who it was, earlier today, I'm glad social media wasn't out when I was a kid.
Right.
Where would I have ended up on? Snapchat or Facebook and all this other thing. So if they had had that structure, I think a lot of kids wouldn't be in there. Now, are there some kids that need special education service? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There are some kids that definitely need it. There's some kids that benefit from it. And there are a lot that don't. And some of the kids, once they're placed in there, they think, well, since I'm in here, I'm going to act that way. Since I'm in special ed, I'm going to act special ed.
They use it kind of like for a scapegoat.
Right. And a scapegoat, but also they're thinking people are labeling them instead of, you know what, I can change this. I can get out of special education. And a lot of the kids that are in special education, you have different tracks. You have what's called resource, where the kids can work towards obtaining a high school diploma. And then you have the certificate track.
Right.
Certificate track, you don't get a diploma, you get a certificate of attendance saying that I attended school for how many years. Now, what is that worth when you're trying to get a job?
Absolutely.
Not a lot.
Right.
So when we sometimes in special education, there's a tendency to push them through. And when you push them through, you're pushing them out into
and that
society.
actually happens more oftentimes than not. People don't realize that.
Yes.
It's kind of similar to what they used to do with athletes.
Right.
And that still goes on as well. I wanted to say and touch on a little bit as far as, you know, if a child is in a two-parent home versus a single-parent home,
Right.
what's your take on that? I'm asking that question because statistically, it is believed that kids who are from a single-parent home, they have less options, or they have less, you know, they don't get the same advantages as if a child from a two-parent home.
Right.
Now, in my case, I want to elaborate a little bit before you answer that question, because when I had a child, which my son is here today, I knew once I became pregnant, I knew my situation was going to be, okay, Lord, it's me, you, and this baby.
Right.
But my drive was to be, or shall I say, have the best job I could possibly ever have had or have, and that's to be a good parent. And it's not like no one had to tell me how to be.
Right.
When you know how to do something,
Right.
the nurturing just kind of take over, and I knew that I had to break some barriers that, had I not, the turnaround could have been totally different.
Right.
I wish there were more single parents, I don't want to say thought or think like me,
Right.
but I wish we had more driven parents like myself, because my goal is to make sure he doesn't have everything and he doesn't get everything he wants.
Right.
But my goal is to make sure that as he continues to grow, that he has the tool and resources that he needs to at least have a chance, and not say, well, I didn't have this chance because I came from a single parent home.
Right.
And so in the case that we're talking now, do you still feel, or you see that there's a big difference in a two-parent home versus a single-parent home? Or they're kind of coming together and the kids are having the same behavior patterns?
Within special education population, you have kids that are from two-parent homes, kids that are from single-parent homes. And the last time I checked, a large percentage of those kids come out of a single-parent home. I came out of a single-parent home where my mom was raising me and my two younger brothers. But my grandparents lived about actually trying to reach out and touch that kid. And some of the parents, single parents, they're working 2, some of them 3 jobs, and they're not at home to give the child the supervision, the attention that they need, and they could, the structure, and they could be looking at it from a point of, okay, I have to provide, meaning for his needs. I have to feed him, I have to clothe him, I have to make sure he has some place to live in order to for him to be successful. And some of the kids can get caught up in the system.
Right.
And that's why I think it is so important that when I said earlier about me as a teacher trying to reach and save every kid, because that is a part of the village, teachers, coaches.
That's right.
And it's sad to say that all of those people does not have your kids' best interests at hand.
Right.
Some of them want to see how can I benefit from it. And with me,
And when you said, what type of kids are you referring to now? Like, what do you mean?
just it could be an athlete. It could be a kid that has some potential and that can make it to the next level, can play at a professional level. And there's coaches that will get close to the kid for that purpose. So hopefully later on down the line, if he make it, I got a chance because I was in his life. And my thing is, I think coaches, we being an athlete, coaches there's a bond between a coach and a player that is undescribable. Sometimes as coaches, we can get kids to do things that teachers can't. We can get kids to do things that their parents can't. And there are coaches that have taken that advantage, and I've seen some that have broken a kid's spirit. because maybe the mom says something. How can my kid get more playing time?
Right.
Are you going to ask me about playing time? He's not going to play. He's not saying that to the mom, but he's saying that. And he takes it out on that kid. So I take something a kid is interested in, like basketball. And I can take basketball and teach them about life. Because that is their interest. When you can gain their interest, when you can gain their trust, and that's what some adults don't want to do. Some adults, well, I'm the adult, you the child. Right. I'm going to stay the adult, you're going to stay the child. And not try to find a common ground, not try to find a bond, not try to find something to where this kid can say, you know what, I can trust him. Right. And if we had more people on that level thinking that way, then I think the shift could change. Now, and to get placed in a special ed, it doesn't take much. You can sit in class and cut up. Absolutely. And if there's a teacher, you can, I don't want to say cut up, you can sit in class and be a kid. And if the teacher doesn't have the best classroom management skills to manage that behavior, then they may make a suggestion to the guidance counselor.
And let me stop you right there. I was going to say, because there are a lot of even younger teachers who cannot handle the behavior of kids. And when I say handle, meaning they just don't have the patience for them. And soon after that, okay, now they want to say, hey, they may have ADHD, you know, we may need to put them on medication. That's not always the answer, but they are so quickly to you know, want to say that's the answer. And then, especially if there's a young parent involved, they don't know. They're just like, okay, well, fine, let's try this. But then I found out the kid get on on medication, that's like a whole different ball game. I've actually had a friend of mine where her son was on medication, and it seems to me as if though it made things worse. I mean, he became pretty much a zombie. What's your take on that?
There are some that can benefit from the medicine, and I believe all medicine, if you Google it, research it, all medicines have a side effect. And some years ago, like I said earlier, you have a lot of the parents come out of single-parent home. Some years ago, parents started getting money for the kids being on medicine. So that was extra income going into the house. So I would say, I would tell the parent, look, he don't have to be on any medicine in my class. I can deal with the behavior. It may take me a couple of weeks to get it set up, but we'll get that, we'll make sure we get that taken care of so that can happen. And once the structure is done and they understand that, then now this kid can know how to, I teach him how to monitor his own behavior and the things that he needs to do in order to make his career in school successful. Right.
It just seems like, of course, we know that we do have kids, again, who needs medication. Right. But I think there's just so many other situations that if they had some parental guidance, or like you said, structure, we can tone down their behavior. I think that can transcend into, you know, making better grades, being more respectful. I think that can even help out with, you know, the baggy pants, because then you're getting into, you know, like, again, behavior, and you're not trying to be like somebody else. You know, they're learning how to be themselves and start understanding what they like and their own style. So I think it all kind of, you know, groups into a circle that as a community, though, we need to get more involved, because as parents, we're always quick to, you know, say, well, my child's not like that, or, well, your child may not be, but let's help out someone your child is. But I'm going to probably end up having you come back on my show for a part 2. I thought this was very informing and educational, and we need to get more people in our community to come on board on what we're trying to do. I think you set a great precedent to help out kids, and like you said, it takes a village, because I'm going to tell you, if you see my son walking down the street or somewhere with them pants down, you know, or not following the rules, how you know I set forth for them, all you got to do is just give me a call. You know, I'll take somebody jet, plane, train, you know, bicycle, you know, four-wheeler, however I need to get there, because we need to get more involved. And I'm a single mother, but my focus was to never be a statistic on just that, quote, single parent type of way or type of living. No, you would think that my son came from a 2-parent home, and it's because of my rules and regulations. Like I told you when I spoke in your class, no A's, no plays. I don't care how good he is when it comes to basketball, football, swimming. I don't care. If you don't have those A's, you ain't got no plays. So that's just my motto in my house. That's how I set forth that to be when he was first born. I knew he was a pretty big guy, but I knew I had to have ground rules from the very beginning.
Right.
So I really appreciate you coming on my show. I look forward to having you on a second time.
Thanks for having me.
This has been really good. I hope, single parents, double parents, whoever you are, I hope everybody watch this show tonight. And if you would like to get in touch with Maurice, he's a great mentor.
On Facebook, Walker, and I'm also, I work out a lot and I do a lot of my training over at the Jewish Community Center in Northeast Columbia. And my telephone number, if you need to get in touch with me, is 803-361-1212. That's 803-361-1212.
Well, again, thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you,
and I look forward to you coming back again. And that will end this segment of the Meek Brown Show. And if you would like to partner with us, the Meek Brown Show, please inbox me or email me so that I may be happy to send you a media kit. And again, our email address is meekbrown@themeekbrownshow.info. We surely would like to partner with you so you can help us get the word out, all the important information, and we want to continue to make this show as informative as it is entertaining. Until next time, have a very sweet Meek week.
The Meek Brown Talk Show. Everyday boldness. Everyday brains. Everyday beauty. Your everyday woman show. Here to